Hello everyone, now we have to discuss the conditions for reciprocity and symmetry in T parameters, which are nothing but ABCD parameters, right? So first we have to write what are the governing equations in case of T parameters, which are nothing but V1 which is equals to AV2 minus BI2, right? Like that, input current which is equals to CV2 minus DI2. So from this, first I would like to get the condition for reciprocity. Okay, first we would like to discuss condition for reciprocity. Okay, for this, case 1, what is case 1? We all know that case 1 is what? Always short circuit output port. Then we will get the condition for ratio of response to excitation. Like that, for case 2 short circuit input port, for that we will get the condition response to excitation, that is I1 by V2. So later we will equate both the cases. From that we will have the condition for reciprocity, right? So here the condition is what? Short circuit output port, that is V2 which is equals to 0. Then the circuit model for this case we have to get, right? Output port is short circuited, right? Then we have the supply voltage for input port, that is V1, and with respect to V1 we have I1, clear. Then actual current direction in output port is nothing but like this, but we will consider minus I2 here, V2 which is equals to 0. Therefore here the required condition is what? Required is what? Response is what? I2 by supply. Excitation is what? I2 by V1 we have to get. So we have to write when V2 is equals to 0, from this one is equals to 0, this one is equals to 0. Therefore we will get, or we can write from governing equations V2 is equals to 0, therefore V1 which is equals to minus VI2. What is our requirement? That is I2 by V1. So from this we will get I2 by V1, right? Therefore I2 by V1 which is equals to what? Minus 1 by V, right? Here we have to get the current I2 by V1 is nothing but minus 1 by V, right? Or you can consider minus I2 by V1, no problem at all. Next, case 2. Now we have to discuss case 2. What is the case 2? Short circuit input port, input port, that is V1 which is equals to 0. When input port is short circuited, what is the circuit model? So this is the input model, here short circuited, therefore only the sub excitation is nothing but V2 only, right? V2, due to that we have I2, this is I1, this is minus I1, here V1 which is equals to 0. Now what is the required condition from this? Always ratio of response to excitation, that's it. Response is what? I1 by excitation is what? V2, that's it. We have to get I1 by V2, right? When V1 equals to 0, we will have what? V1 which is equal to 0, we are having 0 which is equals to AV2 minus BI2. This is one of the equation. Like that, I1 which is equals to CV2 minus DI2. Only in equation 1 the input supply voltage should be equal to 0. Therefore, we will get the current I2 from this. Therefore, I2 which is equals to what? AV2 is equals to BI2. From this, I2 is equals to what? A by B into V2. Then substitute the current into this equation. From this, we will get I1 which is equals to CV2 minus D. I2 is nothing but what? A by B into V2, right? From this, I1 which is equals to, can write BC into V2 minus AD into V2 by B. Therefore, I1 which is equals to what? BC minus AD by B into V2. What is our requirement? Ratio of response to excitation, that is I1 by V2, which is nothing but our requirement, right? Therefore, we have what? BC minus AD by B. This is from case 2. Then, therefore, what is reciprocity condition? When ratio of response to excitation in one case, it should be equals to ratio of response to excitation in second case, right? From this, I2 by V1 is what? Minus 1 by B, right? This is minus 1 by B, which is equals to what? BC minus AD by B. So, BB gets cancelled. From this, we have what? AD minus BC, which is equals to 1. AD minus BC is equals to 1, which is equals to what? AD minus BC is equals to 1, which means A, B, C, T, determinant of matrix, which is equals to 1, right? This is the condition for reciprocity in case of T parameters. Okay, AD minus BC is equals to 1. Next, we have to discuss condition for symmetry. Condition for symmetry. In case of H parameters, we are using the condition for symmetry. We are using Z parameter representation, right? That is Z11 is equals to Z12. Here also we can use that representation. We can use condition for symmetry from Z11 is equals to Z22, right? Therefore, first we have to get Z11. We all know that first Z11, right? Z11 which is equals to what? V1 by I1 when I2 which is equals to 0. When I2 is equals to 0 means what? First we have to write the equations, right? V1 which is equals to AV2 minus PI2, I1 which is equals to CV2 minus TI2. Here I2 is equals to 0 means when I2 is equals to 0, V1 which is equals to AV2, right? From this, therefore, Z11 is nothing, V1 is what? AV2 minus, this is what? From this, sorry, I1 equals to what? CV2. Therefore, Z1 is what? V1 by I1. So, AV2 by CV2. Z11 is nothing but A by C. That's it. So, we have Z11, that is A by C, clear. Like that, to get Z22. Now it's time for Z22. Z22 means what? V2 by I2 when I1 which is equals to 0. When I1 is equals to 0, when I1 is equals to 0, what is here? We are having CV2 equals to dV2, right? CV2 which is equals to dI2. So from this we can write V2 is equals to what? D by C into I2. Now we can substitute this equation into this. Therefore Z22 is nothing but V2. V2 is nothing but what? D by C I2 into I2. I2 gets cancelled. So from this Z22 is what? D by C. D by C, right? Therefore for symmetry, Z11 is equals to Z22, which is equals to what? A by C, which is equals to D by C. C gets cancelled. Therefore we have what? A is equals to D. Condition for symmetry is what? A which is equals to D. Right, this is the condition for symmetry, and AD minus BC is equals to 1. That is the condition for reciprocity. Now we have to summarize the things. Okay, summary. Here we can write parameter. Okay, condition for reciprocity, like that. Condition for symmetry. Then what are the parameters here? We are having what? Z parameters, Y parameters, H parameters, T parameters, right? Then for Z parameters, the condition for reciprocity is what? Z12 which is equals to Z21, right? Like that. Y parameters, Y12 which is equals to Y21. For H parameters, H12 minus H21, like that. This is AD minus BC which is equals to 1. Completed. Next, condition for symmetry, Z11 which is equals to Z22, Y11 which is equals to Y22. For this, delta H which is equals to 1, and here A is equals to D, where delta H which is nothing but what? H11 H22 minus H21 H12. So this is the summary for different types of parameters. Okay.